Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to our live stream, live chat. So, we're here to introduce NUS Engineering in NUS Open House today. So we can also answer all the questions that you may have about engineering, and feel free to comment in the live chat if you have any questions for us. And maybe we'll just do a simple introduction of myself. My name is Hui Min, and I'm a year 4 student. I'm doing a double degree in engineering, computer engineering and economics. So I'll be able to answer questions related to that if you have any. And maybe just introduce our panelists that we have here today with us. So we have Zifeng, Michelle, Marcus, and Prof. Lenry. So maybe we'll have them to introduce themselves so that we can kick off this live chat. Zifeng, please.
Thank you, Vivian. Alright. Hi, I'm Zifeng. I'm a year 2 electrical engineering undergraduate. So I'm actually enrolled in the Richfield Residential College program, as well as in my year 1 I actually went to summer school in Korea. So yeah, you can ask me anything about that.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm a year 4 civil engineering student with Innovation and Design program. Fun fact, I actually went to NUS Asia. It's a 6 months program where you do entrepreneurship and you try to put whatever technical engineering education you had and try to pick up business skills along the way as well.
Hi, I'm Marcus. I'm a final year mechanical engineering student, currently in the E-Scholars program, formerly known as Global Engineering program. I also went on a year 2 exchange to the University of Cambridge, and I have a place to study biomedical engineering MSc in ETH Zurich. If you have any questions regarding these programs, feel free to ask me.
Hi, good afternoon everybody. My name is Len Riyong. I'm the immediate past vice dean for the undergraduate education and the undergraduate program. So today I've got looked in to try to address if you have any admission related questions. So with this, I'll pass the back.
Okay, so keep the questions coming in if you have any. We'll be answering them in a short while. So maybe to start off the discussion, maybe we have common questions. I think many of you are from JC or from Poly, do not have a H2 physics background. So I think that's a very common question. Do you need H2 physics to be able to do out engineering or enter engineering? So maybe with this, to start off, maybe we have our Zifeng and Michelle to share about experience in NUS engineering.
Okay, so the last time I took physics before university was during O-levels. And when I went on to JC, it didn't occur to me that I wanted to do engineering back then, so I didn't pursue physics. And when I actually came and enrolled in engineering, I had to take 2 physics bridging modules, so one in each semester, one on Newtonian physics and the other one is in electrical. And funny thing, I'm actually doing my bridging module in my year 4 last semester of school right now before I graduate. So in terms of do you need to take physics before you actually come into engineering? I think the prerequisite says that you only need to take O-levels physics. And is it manageable? I think it is, depending on your capabilities and time management. It covers the basic fundamentals, the theory, the tutorials, as well as the lab. Everything is broken down and spaced out. So that's my take on that.
Right. Adding on to that, definitely, maybe I think here and there people will stumble upon certain concepts and things like that, but definitely touch my heart. I know at NUS, my professors are really passionate and they're really friendly, and if I ever had any issues, I always go to them, I drop them an email or meet them personally, and they would definitely take their time to explain the problems to me, and yeah, they wouldn't let go of me until I understood it. And fun fact, I'm actually taking a bridging physics mod with Michelle right now.
Okay, so maybe with hello. So maybe with that, maybe will Prof. Lenry like to elaborate on that?
I think increasingly we do see students coming to engineering without the H2 physics background, and so I think the university together with Faculty of Engineering come up with this bridging, physics bridging modules programs. Is 2 physics bridging modules, and so typically students are required, if you don't have the H2 physics, then typically you are required to take either 1 or 2 in year 1. So it depends on what programs you are in, then you need to bridge that so that you have the relevant basic background allowed to take the higher engineering core modules, which a lot of them are also physics related. and that's the reason. And based on what we just heard from the student panel, I think the bridging program is robust enough now that we have run it for many years that we do able to bridge the knowledge gap so the student can carry on and then do well in their engineering study.
So next we have a question from a student. So we have, is it possible to top up a degree from diploma to bachelor's in NUS from another university? So maybe would Prof. Henry like to take the question?
I think this question probably have twofold. For most of the local poly student, I think you guys should know the way to actually upgrade your local poly diploma to full degree. And the details, I think the website, there are plenty of information, and if you have specific questions, you can ask us. As for foreign diploma, because I think outside Singapore, there are so many different polytechnic from so many different countries. So I cannot elaborate individual one in this forum. But if you are holding a foreign diploma from your polytechnic institution in your country, please write in to our dean's office or check with Office of Admissions, then we basically can address you specific questions on that. Okay?
So we also have another question that says, if we take like the engineering course in NUS, is it possible for the student to specialize in certain fields of engineering in later years? So perhaps would Marcus like to elaborate on your experience since you're in that phase of life?
I'm not sure whether it's a particular specialization, but I'm in mechanical engineering and we have several specializations. So one of them is the aeronautical specialization, which is quite popular. And we also have the new robotics specialization because I think with Industry 4.0, robotics is a very good skill to have. So you can take an mechanical engineering degree and then specialize in it either from the start or maybe from your second year. There are certain prerequisite modules that you have to accomplish in order to have this specialization. In terms of other courses, for computer engineering, for example, they have this specialization called Internet of Things. So if any of you guys are interested in these specializations, please do check out our website, and I think it's all listed up there.
Any inputs from inside of the panel?
I'm not particularly sure because I didn't really go through the technical engineering route, but from what I heard from my friends, definitely is possible to specialize in certain fields, although not many people actually does that anymore. When you enroll in NUS, you actually have to take technical elective modules in your later years in year 3s and year 4s, and that is the time after you complete your industrial attachment with a particular company. For example, in the civil engineering course itself, if you do industrial attachment with a construction company and they specialize in probably building management or even geotechnical subcontraction, then you would be geared towards a certain direction already. You do know what you actually like. And maybe afterwards, when you come back from an industrial attachment, you can take up technical electives focusing on this particular modules like geotechnical or even offshore engineering. So it really depends, and I think the best information, the best way to find out is to check out the website to see what other specializations are being offered in the later years.
I would say that it is most important to do what you are really interested in. So I feel that NUS in our year 1 and year 2, we tend to take, the faculty tend to push towards more experiential learning, letting our students figure out what they are interested in, what they're good at, what they want to pursue in the future. So I feel that we should, but definitely when you come to NUS, you will be given a chance to experience new things. So definitely keep an open mind. Don't be fixated on what you think, what you want now. It might not be the same as what you want a year from now or 2 years from now.
Allow me to add another aspect, that is, if you study engineering in NUS, we have these lifelong learning programs that once you are our NUS students, we will train you for the next 20 years, I'm not mistaken. So even after you finish your undergrad degree with us, we have folio of many specialized engineering cert, okay, that you can actually open to all our engineering graduates. So you can actually come back and take the cert. Let's say if you are interested in, let's say if you do computer engineering now, you finish the degree study, and then later on, or somehow you are very interested in some robotic related things or Internet of Things, those are more modern topics, then you can actually come back, even though initially you may not specialize in a particular area, but NUS allow you to actually continue to specialize in a particular field that you aspire to be. So that's something I think good about the NUS education generally.
So I think in general, NUS engineering gives you a good foundation for what you need to know in your field, and also gives you an edge to maybe pursue what you want to do in future, whether you know it, what you want to do in future, or like whether you know it now or not. I think it gives you a good foundation. So I think the next question we have is also like, how competitive is the undergraduate admission for engineering? So maybe Prof. Landry would like to tell us about it.
Actually, before I answer the question, let me get a feel from you guys. How competitive do you think is our admissions?
Well, for me, I don't actually really feel it's very competitive. So all you have to do is just really hit apply, and then depending on how many people are enrolling at that point of year, depends on your batch mates, depend on how the cohort perform in that year itself. So at least for my batch, it wasn't that.
I believe the grade profile that you see on the website is actually based on the, like every year you see the grade profile changing here and there, because every cohort, you can think of it as like a supply and demand kind of thing. So more people that actually apply, example, maybe 100 people apply for 50 spaces, then definitely it's going to be competitive. But maybe in that year, somehow people, unfortunately, not interested in engineering, then there will be lesser demand in it. So it will definitely be easier to get into, yeah. But I'm sure this year will be very competitive.
So I think maybe like about the competition, I think most importantly is you ask yourself whether you are interested in it. And I think there's a discretionary admission that if you're really interested in this field, you can talk to us. I think the prof can give us more information about how, like, if you're really passionate about engineering, you can still enter engineering, even if you may not meet the cut, unfortunately. How about you can share about that?
Yeah, just add on first. Maybe if you like something competitive, I would suggest everyone apply for the e-Scholars program. Bachelors plus Masters in 4 years. Please do check out our website. It's a very competitive program. I highly advise everyone to just please check us out. Yeah.
Thank you, Marcus. Let me just add on for that. I think in general, if we look at the profile of the A-level students, typically I think NUS take the roughly the top 30% of the whole A-level students. So whether you say competitive or not, again also depends on which individuals specific programs that you want to go into. But as Hui Min just mentioned, we do have this discretionary admission path that is for those who your grade may not make the cutoff. We will still consider you if you have shown special interest in the majors you want to apply, and if you have a special quality that you demonstrate your passion. Like for example, if you have some entrepreneurial experience that you want to, or you have done a startup. We have students already done a startup before they even join NUS. And so those are the quality that we appreciate, and because those are the students that we know that they're mature and they have something that they want to get from NUS, so we do a discretionary admissions for them. The other thing is, if your grade profile, you think you're not very good and you're interested in applying to engineering, there is place that in your admissions that you can actually write down your aspirations, okay, and why you think you want to do engineering, and make sure that you put the efforts to make sure that you tell us why you are very interested in engineering. So that's something that again we look at students that express special interest, and so those are the value that you can actually add in value to your applications. So we will basically consider under the discretionary admission.
So I think Marcus brought up the thing about the e-scholars program, and you mentioned previously was known as the GEP. So maybe you would like to elaborate on why it was enhanced to become the e-scholars, and what's the difference, and what's so special about e-scholars program, Marcus.
So GEP has been enhanced to e-scholars program, and I think there's 3 good things that have come out of it. So firstly, now there's a residential college experience included. So students in the e-scholars program are able to have stay in RC4. They may be even able to apply to stay in other colleges such as Cinnamon College. And so this is an experience that us GEP scholars didn't have. Secondly, there's also the masters, the 4th year's masters is also paid for. So whereas I don't have the luxury of having a paid masters, I have to go and self-fund my own masters. So if you actually come into this e-scholars program, you'll be able to take the masters after your 3-year bachelors. Yeah. And also there's also NOC now included. So future e-scholars will be able to go on NOC overseas to work in overseas startups. And these are all very valuable experience that unfortunately us GEP students didn't have. But I'm very happy that our future e-scholars will be able to enjoy all these added benefits.
So are there any experiences you have in the GEP program that maybe you would like to share with us?
Yeah, so for GEP/e-scholars, we have like every semester we will have meetings. There will be a very fun barbecue where we all get together. The barbecue is free, so yeah, we have good food. We have good time to catch up with one another. There's also several programs running throughout the year. So if you guys have e-scholars, you can also suggest whatever you like to do with your other peers. And also now, because all of the e-scholars, most of them will be staying in the U-Town area. They are very close to each other, and this allows for even more bonding and to have to participate in even more activities together. Yeah.
So we also have a next question about e-scholars. The e-scholars program, is it available for international students as well? Prof. Lenry?
Okay, by design, e-scholars are for Singaporeans. That is mainly because of the scholarship part. So all the NUS scholarship, including the e-scholars program scholarships, e-scholar, by the way, come with scholarships. And this one is funded by Ministry of Education, and so by design, the e-scholars programs are for only Singaporeans. We did have a number of Singaporean PR who actually apply for e-scholars, but because the scholarship part is for only Singaporeans, so by the time that they join NUS and enroll in the e-scholars program, they typically need to convert into Singaporeans as well.
So we also have a next question. Does NUS engineering have an aeronautical engineering discipline? How about Marcus, who is doing mechanical engineering? Would you like to take the question?
Yeah, so students can directly enroll with the aeronautical specialization, but you are still majoring in mechanical engineering. So the degree will be mechanical engineering with a specialization in aeronautical engineering. Even if you do not enroll directly into this specialization from the start, you can choose to enroll into this program in your 2nd or 3rd year, as long as you complete the various modules that is stipulated on the websites. And yeah, please do check out the Mechanical Engineering Department website for more information as to what kind of modules you have to take, by when you have to enroll into this specialization. But yes, there's this specialization that you can still apply for.
Okay, next we have a question from a student about whether is it possible to take a material science and engineering course without having taken chemistry in A levels. So maybe Prof. Landry give us an answer.
I am a bit out of touch, but based on my understanding is yes, you can. But if you don't have the H2 chemistry, so when you join material science and engineering, there is a chemistry bridging module you need to take. So once you take that, then you will fulfill that requirement.
So maybe we have a next question. I think it's more interesting. Can you explain more about overseas opportunities and summer school? Okay, so maybe Zifeng, we went for Korea summer exchange. Would like to share with us?
Alright, hi. So I'm currently year 2 now, and in my year 1, my friends and I actually we plan to go to the summer school together. So actually, during summer school exchange, we're actually able to map a couple of modules, and we'll take them over there in the partner universities. So it was definitely an eye-opening experience. Studying outside of NUS, and in fact studying outside of Singapore. I think, yeah, that's definitely my first time doing it, and having the Korean professors lecture in English was very it was good. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, English is not their first language, but definitely it was communicated to us well. And one thing I would say that really that was really memorable from the school experience was that how the Korean partner universities were really focused on the applications of a theory. So in fact, when the lecturer went through certain content, like I took electromagnetism there, they were actually explained to us how this electromagnetism affects us in our daily lives and how and all these things, just to ensure that the students' attention are kept, and everyone is definitely motivated to learn more and know why. Yeah. And on top of school, definitely the experience was great. Yeah. It was during my summer break, so it was a 3-month break, and we spent 5 weeks at our summer exchange. Yeah. So we actually toured around Korea. My friends and I, yeah, we took the train, and it was definitely it was a fun experience because people couldn't really understand us, and we couldn't really understand them. But somehow, Korean ladies on the street will ask us for directions because we kind of look like Koreans, hopefully. Yeah, but yeah. So I would say this is one thing that you can look forward to when you come to NUS, because NUS definitely has lots of these overseas opportunities for you, be it NOC or exchange or even a summer program. So currently in my year 2, next year I'm actually embarking on the student program, or SEP, a semestral long exchange to Canada. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, because after going to Korea and learning a lot and having lots of fun, yeah, Canada should be, I expect nothing less. Yeah.
So besides summer exchange opportunities and also summer school, I also went for NUS Overseas College, which is a 6-month program where I did global internship as well as taking some modules part-time in a local university. So that was a really good experience because, I mean, like first of all, it's free, and I also managed to experience life as a Singaporean student who's overseas, juggling both I guess career as well as being a student. So it was really an eye-opening experience, because one thing is quite a challenge if you want to go to Israel itself without really much of a connection over there, and also being able to have that connection, that comfort zone to actually go there and link up with the local career opportunity scene is very different. So actually, while I was there, I was interning in venture capital. I was with Singtel Innovate VC. It's a venture capital arm of Singtel, the telco itself in Singapore. And it was really an eye-opening experience, because being there, I was able to I had the opportunity to speak to a lot of startup founders, and it was a completely different entrepreneurship scene compared to Singapore itself. For me, I thought that entrepreneurship in Singapore was a little bit more closed off, well, at least for now. And when I was there in Israel itself, I thought it was very robust. And I think that this is an experience that you will not get anywhere else besides enrolling yourself in NUS and applying for the NUS Overseas College program. So besides Israel itself, we also have like a year-long program. So we have like probably some experiences with partner universities in like Silicon Valley, Stockholm, Canada, and the latest one that they roll out is Southeast Asia, where you get to intern in Indonesia and Vietnam as well. So I think that there's definitely a lot of opportunities, especially if you're an engineer, because such countries, the startup scene, they really appreciate a lot of technology and a lot of hardware and software knowledge. And I felt that they really looked up to Singaporean students as well because of the education that we're getting. So yeah, it really was a great opportunity to be there. Besides that, I think Marcus also spent some time in being in Cambridge doing some exchange.
So let me just summarize everything. NUS has links with over 100 partner universities, including University of California, University of Tokyo, Tsinghua University, Imperial College, University of Cambridge, and University of Oxford. And we are the only faculty in the whole world who has links with both Oxford and Cambridge. So I was very fortunate to be afforded the opportunity to go to University of Cambridge, where I really met a lot of brilliant people, to do projects with them, to see what's it like to be a Cambridge University student. So all these are opportunities that potential students can look forward to, and another reason for you to actually come to NUS. Yeah. So
maybe currently we have our dean to join us. So our dean will be coming in to speak to us. If you have any questions for the program or anything in general, you can let us know. The live chat is still continuing. So welcome.
Swapped in.
Yeah. Okay, maybe you'd like to do an introduction, Dean?
Okay. Yes, so I'm the Dean of Engineering. My name is Aaron. Basically, okay. Yes. So I became Dean last year, so a wonderful faculty. So, yep, here.
Sorry?
Just bring forward the...
Hold on for a while, we got some troubleshoot
technical
issues.
issues. Okay.
Yeah, something happened to the network.
Is this still rolling?
Yeah.
So we all just store in the virtual space. Something happened. Hold on.
Yeah, still Instagram. Instagram is still live.
Instagram is still live.
Okay, so maybe the audience from the Instagram live will just maybe continue the discussion a little bit more. So just now we were talking about like our summer school opportunities. I think NUS offers a lot of overseas opportunities, whether is it the summer school or is it the regular semester, and also many interesting events. So keep the questions coming in. Yay. Okay. So let's continue. Sorry, we had some difficulties, technical difficulties. So let's continue with the discussion. So let's welcome the Dean of Engineering. Maybe do an introduction of yourselves.
Yes. So okay, here's me introducing myself again. So my name is Aaron. I'm the Dean of Engineering. Became Dean last year. So yeah, just bring forth the question. Yeah.
So maybe to start off, what can students look forward in NUS Engineering? Could you share what are interesting new programs that we have in engineering? Or?
There are definitely lots of interesting new programs. One of the things that obviously looking forward to for students to be in NUS Engineering is the diversity of topics. So we have effectively 7 departments, actually 8, counting IDP. So we have everything from chemical engineering, mechanical, electrical, systems, industrial systems, and mechanical. So a lot of and civil engineering. So a lot of different departments covering a wide variety of interests and applications. So I think one of the things that I see incoming students typically is they face with choices, right? A lot of choices, and it's a very different experience relative to if you're from JC or Poly. It's a huge school. We typically have 4,000 students, 1,000 plus in terms of incoming students. So the thing that you definitely look forward to is first freedom and choices. I think those are the two things you look forward to. Right?
So I think maybe on this point I'd like to share a little bit more, because I'm doing a double degree in computer engineering and econs. So I think one of the interesting things about NUS is it offers you a very flexible curriculum. So I managed to do a second degree with whatever unrestricted electives that I have. And I think that gave me a very different perspective, because you get to see things in very different point of view that both the discipline gives you. And I think that's one of the interesting things in my life, because that helped me in choosing my career, got to choose something more interesting, get to understand a little bit more about things outside of just engineering, the business side and stuff like that. So I think that's a very important thing to have to understand. So to understand more about the world in general and what you actually want to do in future. So maybe we would like for both of you to any inputs.
So just a testament to how diverse or how much opportunities NUS can actually offer you. I'm an electrical engineering student. I actually took a module on philosophy last semester, and this semester I'm taking 2 modules on public health. So yeah, it might seem like I'm all over the place, but I assure you this chaos is called under control. Yeah, I'm learning more about I'm learning more about people, and definitely learning more about the healthcare system in Singapore, and yeah, how engineering can help solve these problems. Because I think engineering is not really just a discipline per se, but it's more of a mindset, and it's definitely a way of life that we can take into. Yeah. So on top of things in the classroom, I think some people would think student life, people just laugh and say, haha, it's an oxymoron, student life, that doesn't exist. But that's definitely not true. Something that you can look forward to coming to NUS engineering per se, I would say that we definitely have one of the most fun orientation week camps. You definitely get to come here, make lots of friends, and friends are really important in a setting like university or definitely in life. I'm sure your parents would agree, connections get you places. Yeah, so definitely making friends during O week would definitely help you in terms of schoolwork and definitely outside of school. Yeah, NUS also offers lots of varsity sports and interest groups that you can join in your own free time. And even between faculties, they also have faculty games every year. And lots of people turn up for the tryouts. And yeah, NUS is definitely a place apart. It's definitely more than just studying in the classroom.
So what do NUS undergrads get to look forward to in engineering?
Okay, so 2 things. I think I'll touch on a little bit about the general education pillars in NUS. So I think one of the more interesting modules which I've taken recently was GEQ, General Education, where they teach you actually how to ask questions. So asking questions has different ways of taking a look at things, different perspectives. So given that we have so many different faculties, right, they taught us how to look at questions from an engineering perspective, how to look at questions from a philosophy perspective, from an economist perspective. So these are some of the interesting modules which we are trying to roll out to accommodate to our changing world nowadays. And also, in fact, there was this other interesting module which I took, which was Introduction to Hollywood Cinematics. And we actually, dissected Hollywood movies, movies like Inception, and we actually wrote some essays. We even tried to copy some of the movies, shoot short films about it. And I think that these are modules that definitely different universities have different takes on. But at least these are some of the courses which you can look forward to having to take in NUS itself. And I think another interesting thing for orientation week, we do have different freshman orientation program activities. For example, like Rag and Flag, where you spend some time with your would-be classmates or would-be batchmates in the future before you enroll into the program, and you practice sustainability by using some rags and cardboards to build some, floats. Yeah. and I guess this kind of helps you build on your connection. It helps you tap into this network before you even start your university life, which I think is kind of important. If you don't really have the chance or the opportunity, we even have freshman orientation camps for you to come down to. So be sure to sign up for that, because I found most of my initial university friends, and even until now, I'm still catching up with them occasionally. And these are your foundational friendships. And on top of that, you get to meet a lot of seniors, and you can get a lot of seniors report from them, which is very important if you're in engineering.
So maybe we have a next question. What are the major differences between computer science and computer engineering? So maybe we have a Prof.
Yeah. Okay. So this question is very, very common. So I see. So computer science and computer engineering. So I was a electrical and computer engineering student, so both. So the key difference between computer science and computer engineering is as follows. So computer science deals a lot with the software aspects, right? So basically the applications and even operating system level. But computer engineering tends to look at the system. So both the software and hardware kind of intertwined. So this is important because why? Because you'll be at some point in time designing new systems, and then you need to have some awareness of what the hardware is doing. In fact, most of the new computing systems require new computing hardware. So I'm going to preempt even another question, right? Is AI in engineering? The answer is yes, right? And in fact, AI highly dependent on advanced hardware. So basically, the hardware plays a big role. Now, there are a lot of talk about computer science being the hot topic. There's in fact a lot of overlap between computer engineering and computer science. But the key difference is computer engineering looks at the system aspect. So software plus hardware.
So maybe as a student's point of view, I'd like to share a little bit more. So I'm doing computer engineering. So I think as a student's point of view, what Prof said was right. When you are doing your course, what you will encounter is you will be doing a lot of data structures, algorithms, because you need to understand the basic fundamental concepts to work with the systems that you are going to build in future. And also, I think you cannot avoid the hardware, because I think that's a core of your work as well, because you're working with systems and you cannot run away from hardware. Which I think is interesting also, because I think a lot of those hardware that you work with, there's like a different point of view to things, and if you're interested in both the hardware and the software, or how things work in general, and from the software where the user interacts with it to at a really, really nitty-gritty binary number point of view, I think that is also quite interesting. It's a very diverse course, and I think the lines are blurring, like what Prof said. And I think the computer engineering course also offers several computer science concepts, and it gives you a more balanced education in the digital age, I think. Okay, so we have a next question. It's an interesting one. Does NUS have a flipped learning system, and do students self-study? Okay, so maybe would you like to share your experience?
Sure. So, I mean, everybody is aware that right now we have COVID, right? Essentially, everything in NUS right now, classes with more than 50 students and above, everything is terminated. Essentially, there's no lectures. Everything is flipped, is webcasted, and students can enjoy watching webcasts from the comfort of the bed, which I often do. And even tutorials are extended to be cancelled as well. Unfortunately, lab is still going on. So yes, we do practice flipped learning system where we are encouraged to actually progressively learn only the foundation, and provided a learning structure. But eventually, at the end of the day, if you really want to go in depth, feel free to do so at your own time. And I think maybe my take on it, I do enjoy this flipped learning system because it gives me the opportunity to make use of my day more freely, to plan my schedule around it instead of having to be present for classes. And especially so in engineering itself, where you have to absorb a lot of technical knowledge. Sometimes the professor doesn't speak too clearly, and you miss out some things, and you can actually rewind and revisit the lectures through webcasts. And this kind of opportunities are everywhere. Like most modules will have webcasts and flipped learning classroom system.
I think another aspect of blended learning that Michelle has not touched on is maybe on top of the theoretical explanation and going through of content in classes, be it lecture or tutorial, there's also a heavy emphasis of lab and practical and experiential learning. So a lot of the things that you will hear like, oh, we are teaching you guys programming and things like that, a lot of it, actually, in fact, there's very little of that, and in fact, a lot of it is more of like the prof is telling you guys, this is what you should try to avoid, but you guys should try to figure out how best you want to do it. And there's no right or wrong answer. There's just answers which are better than most. Yeah. So definitely, experiential learning is really important for me personally, because I feel like I learn better when I try and I get it wrong and I get frustrated, and then I learn from that frustration. And I'm like, okay, I just won't do it again. Yeah. So yeah. So for me, I feel experiential learning is definitely really helped me a lot in this university journey. It's definitely a step up from what I used to have in JC, where it was really one-sided, where like your teachers would just lecture, and then you just absorb. In university, it's more of the lecturer gives you like a prompt, and then you take this prompt and you try to find your own path on your own. Yeah.
So one point to make is that we don't have flipped classroom just because there's a COVID situation. Okay, so we are innovating on our way we deliver our educational programs. There is a wide range. There is definitely the traditional lecture for large classes, and then all the way down to experiential learning, where more dedicated focus. It depends on the nature of the class. I think ultimately the key point is that we are here to basically deliver to you the material as much as appropriate for absorption as possible. So a big part of it actually depends also on self-discipline on how to absorb the material. Very different from basically your secondary JC poly days, is that here I think there's a lot of emphasis placed on your engagement in the class, engagement with professors, engagement with the tutors. So there's some very important aspects here. Now, this is a microcosm of what you will experience when you get out to work. In a working environment, there's also a lot of responsibility placed on you to do learning. So this is a good experience for you.
So just to round up, I think university is a very good time to discover how you learn, and also I think we can make use of all the digital tools, use resources that we have for to maximize our learning and enjoy our learning as well. So we have a next question that the student was very torn between several engineering courses and does not know what to do. And whether are there any opportunities for the student to switch to another course after entering NUS engineering? So maybe a prof would like to take the question.
Sorry.
We actually get these questions quite often in the previous years. So I think from last year we actually restructured our engineering program. We have a common core curriculum that allow most of the engineering students to actually take a few common foundation training, like materials engineering, design and make, coding, math. So all these are the common modules that most engineering students come in, they will take. And it doesn't matter which specific discipline they are. And so within the first years, actually, let's say if you are in civil engineering in the semester 1, and then after one semester or even after 1 year, you feel, okay, I think civil engineering may not be for me. I actually like coding a lot. Let me try to switch to computer engineering. So yes, you can switch. So because of electrical engineering is more straightforward. Computer engineering, I think because of a lot of hypes now, the demand is so high that we have this quota issue that because basically the class size cannot accommodate that many computer engineering students. So please be mindful of that. But if you switch to like civil engineering to electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, typically would not be an issue. We also have this special year one program called the common engineering. Oh, okay. So I was told that the program no longer there, so you just switch between different engineering programs. Just come and join us, then you will be having the way to be able to switch, especially in the first year because of the common core. But however, I have to say this, not just what major engineering course you want to be in, as what you have heard from the rest of student panel. NUS is full of opportunities, okay, and you can enjoy as much as possible, but you only have 24 hours per day, okay, so you need to learn that how to make decisions and then make use of your time to fulfill your aspirations or something you really want to do. We can, because of the abundance program, allow students, maybe the Gasu mentality, many of you want to grab everything under the sun. So my advice to you now is, yes, NUS have a lot to offer, but you should think about what you want to do, prioritize them, and plan ahead. Then you will have a more joyful and fruitful experience with us.
So, okay, let me also add to this. I think I'm here to plug the Common Core, right? So, I think the answer is that you can find a way to switch. I think the way to switch is definitely, please talk to your academic advisor on where what way your interests lie. Obviously, pick something that you're interested in. Now, we don't have a common engineering track anymore, and the reason for that, because what we found that a lot of students basically can switch between the different tracks anyway. So, but once you discover, your interest lies somewhere else, please talk to your advisor. That's one thing that we will always provide support for you to change. Now, back to the common engineering core. So we're introducing two new core. Yes, I've been reminded to put the mic closer to the mouth. The thing about the core is that we are introducing two new programs. One is related to machine learning and AI. And the reason for that is because based on feedback, we understand a lot of students think that this is a core, it's a core skill that they want to build up early. And to prepare you for the industry, prepare you to compete with both computer science students as well as other data analytics students. So here's the first time we're going to offer this. And I think here is also where you can discover your passion for data analytics if you like it. Now, the second one is systems engineering, systems thinking. So basically this is very unique to engineering because to teach you how to see the big picture in an analytical way. And so I think this is also very helpful. And employers will really love to have people like that could actually understand how different kind of systems work. So I think don't worry. Come in. Pick things that you believe is interesting for you, because interest guides everything. If you are interested, you will do well. That's what matters. Okay.
Maybe to add on to that.
Yeah.
So just to put things into context, just to share. Initially, I was one of the last few batches of people to be enrolled in a common engineering course before I was taken out. And I had the privilege to actually go through everything and to actually, talk to a couple of seniors before I decide on my major itself. And eventually I went on to civil engineering because I realized I prefer Newtonian physics. So it's a little bit of like soul searching in a sense. Talking to people really get you out there, gives you a huge perspective and to understand what you want to do, what you want to do in the future. So if you do want to transfer, it is pretty easy, but you need to make your decision very quickly because whatever you've done for the semester itself will be voided. It will be taken into your unrestricted electives and you will have less opportunity to explore other modules like probably like taking philosophy like Zifeng. You probably don't have the chance to do that if you apply too late. So based on my experience, I was in common engineering at first and I realized that I wanted to apply to a different faculty, like Faculty of Arts and Social Science. So all I had to do was just fill out this form, like pay a registration or admission fee and just sit and wait. But back then, unfortunately, it wasn't successful and therefore here I am, thankfully. Yeah, so generally, at the end of the day, you ask yourself, what do you want to be in the future? or where does your interest lie, as Prof did actually say just now. So previously I had a friend who was actually debating between material science and environmental engineering, and I think both of these courses, they're very similar in nature. Probably the only thing that differs is the modules itself. But eventually, at the end of the day, I think you may have to share similar career prospects in the future. So it really helps to talk to your seniors and people who are there in the comment section to help you make up your mind. So feel free to just drop a comment.
I think most importantly is when you're in NUS engineering, you can speak to a lot of people. I think that's the key to finding out like what you really like and maybe what you want to do in the future. So I think take an initiative, join us, and then maybe speak to your seniors and those who have graduated, and maybe listen to their experiences and try something different. I think that will be quite exciting. Okay, we also have a next question that says if you don't do well generally for A-level physics, which course is the least physics intensive of all engineering courses? Haha. Okay. So maybe the students will take the question first. We see. Okay. So at least for me, I don't think you should be afraid. I didn't do H2 physics, so I came in with 0. So like basically, by 2 years of JC, I was doing biology. I didn't really like it. That's my own take on it, and I decided to do computer engineering. So it's very intensive on the electrical and the quantum side of things, which is very different from I think what Mitchell is doing, Newtonian physics. So personally, I don't think you should say what you should. You should choose the least intensive, but I think maybe choose something you're more comfortable with. Maybe do you guys have anything to add on to that?
The answer is it does not exist. Everything in engineering requires physics, unfortunately.
Maybe come in with an open mind and then tackle your fears and overcome your problems. It's okay, you can do it, we believe in you.
Anyway, at the end of the day, everything is just problem-solving skills, right? Take it as a simple math problem. Eventually, if you do go out to work in the force and you probably end up with some banking job or something, everything requires you to solve a problem. So just take it as one of the problems, just get it out of the way. Always ask your professors, ask your tutors, ask your friends. Don't free ride, of course. But yes, just ask lah. I think honestly there isn't easy non-physics related course because it's engineering itself and you should know what you're getting into beforehand. If you are more interested in engineering but weaker in physics, try to build up on your physics skills beforehand before you come to engineering, because it definitely is a plunge. From JC to uni itself, I did feel the plunge in squeezing probably like 2 years worth of things into just one semester. But at the end of the day, if you do want to come to university, that's what you should be aware of.
I'm doing electrical engineering, so almost the same as Hui Min. Yeah, physics, you can't escape from it. And I think as much as you try to sell to you engineering, come to engineering is great. Like, yeah, I think we should not avoid the fact that it's tough lah. And if you don't have the interest for it, and okay, I shouldn't say it in a negative way, I should say come if you have the interest for it. Yeah, and if you really think that you can excel and you have the interest for it, then definitely this is the right place for you. And as like Michelle has said, a lot of problem solving skills and like, if I'm bad at physics, why be able to survive here? I think a lot of things, we're still young, a lot of things, nothing is set in stone. You can't be bad at something forever, right? So yeah, definitely within the time from now until university, you can definitely take the time to brush up on your on your knowledge. Or even if that sounds painful, I'm sure NUS definitely has lots of professors which are passionate in teaching, and yeah, there's definitely a space for everyone. Yeah, so don't worry.
I see comments. Okay, so anyway, I just want to cap one thing, which is I personally hated A-level physics. Okay. I hated A-level physics and I hated A-level chemistry. But I think I fell in love with those two topics again when I came into university. So give it a chance. You learn it, and you learn it differently because this time you see it in the context of where it's applied. That will make a lot of difference. Okay? I have to get to the next question.
Okay, so I think we have a few questions coming up. So maybe in the interest of time, we will just go over that. So the next question is, how difficult is it for a poly student to get to e-scholars program? So maybe Prof. Landry would like to share with us.
I think again, e-scholar is a compressed program, so we need to make sure the student have the capability to actually finish the program, and that's why you might feel that how is a difficult program. But every year we do accept poly students into the e-scholars program, but because of the natures of the compressions of the e-scholar program, then you basically need to work hard. But I think over the years we do see poly students in the e-scholars program, then we don't see many students drop out from the e-scholar or the old GP students when they are poly students, so they will be able to finish.
So interestingly, I think we have another question. I think Prof, you guys mentioned that there's this systems thinking new modules in NUS engineering, which is rather employable, I think. I think there's another question because there's a residential college which is heavily emphasizes on the systems thinking and systems engineering. So maybe would they be able to be exempted from this program or this module that you have mentioned just now?
Yes, if you stay in RC4, because RC4 the theme is already in system thinking. So if you take the residential college modules in RC4, you can exempt from the Faculty of Engineering, System Engineering modules. So what you need to do is basically you basically earn yourself a white space, and then this space typically you becomes unrestricted elective, and then you can use that modular white space to do other things that you want to do.
So maybe we'll just round up this discussion with a last question. We have a student who says that maybe they have a problem graduating in time due to psychological stress or issues. So maybe would you like to share about how the student life and how is there any support for students throughout their entire NUS engineering student life, and maybe what are the measures in place so that students can cope with student life? Maybe the profs would like to answer.
Okay. I think increasingly we do see students have psychological issues when they join us. It's probably something I think among the student population that you are aware of that. So NUS also based on this trend, we have Office of Student Life under the Dean's Office. So we have a dedicated staff. We call them the student support managers, and so they are there to actually try to assist students with learning difficulties or psychological barriers, so that if they move in a lower pace, they will be able to actually complete the study. And while I was the vice dean for the undergraduate program, we do see quite a number of these cases, so I speak on behalf of my experience. So we basically assist the student either during the exam time, we grant them extra time because they have difficulty to maybe comprehend the question, or they have writing issues, and so we grant them extra time. We also allow students, if they have difficulty passing the modules, we give them a second chance to do it. So we also allow students to take what we call the leave of absence if they need to attend to their medical conditions before they can come back and then fully focus on their studies. So there are many different ways from NUS at the institution point of view to try to support students for that. And we also have a team of very well qualified counselors in our healthcare wellness centers, and so they are there to assist many of our students who are facing issues. Sometimes not just a study issue, maybe just family issue, for example, and then they cannot focus on their studies, so they go to see the counselor, and the counselor will give them recommendations on how to overcome it, and working together with the faculties. And so over the past years, we do see this kind of a student who have issues, personal issues that may not be able to graduate together with their own class in 4 years' time, but finally they will graduate. So don't worry.
So I think to sum up what Prof. Larry said, I think it's NUS gives you a good academic experience as well as a student life. So maybe before we wrap up this live chat, we have our Dean to say some words before we end.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So one thing is, like I said, NUS Engineering here, we are continue to innovate on the way we deliver basically educational content to you. The aim is really to help you market yourself when you graduate, give you some course, hardcore skills as well as some soft skills to equip. But on top of that, I think, which also relates to the previous question, we provide a support system. So if you're running into trouble, I know that NUS Engineering is a very competitive school in the sense that we expect a lot from our students, but we also provide support systems. So if you're running into issues, don't worry. We have people to talk to you, and then we even direct you to more help that's needed. So with that said, please come join us. I think you've seen there's a lot of students here are doing very, very well. You're going to have seniors to talk to come here, and then it will be a completely different experience from your JC or poly environment. The learning will be different, so that's part of that adventure, right? Thanks.
So we have come to the end of our program, live chat today, and also our entire NUS Engineering e-open house today. So thank you for joining us. I think we had a great time answering your questions and speaking to all of you. And you also can watch all of our chats if you have missed any of our chats throughout the entire day in our Facebook. We have the videos on, and you can maybe send us your questions if you have any, and you can contact us on our website, which is I think listed over here. So you can maybe send your questions to our social media or write an email to us, and after you have looked at all our videos, and we'd like to thank you for joining us for today. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.